のアニメの中で海外の好きなトップ5っていうのが、ランキングで示されているので、今日はそのトップ5から順番に発表していって、
And I think Americans, they like that grotesque factor. They like watching people like squirm and struggle through. And they like this squeamish kind of content.
ネオアームストロングサイクロンジェットアームストロング法の回を見てほしいんだけど、
Okay.
これに面白さとヤバさが全部詰まってるんで、堂々の第1位は、今日は海外で人気な日本のアニメトップ5とその理由について話してみるよ。 Let's find out! こんにちは、全人類と友達になる男とみなみスタンス
アランです。
春です。
そうです。
こんにちは。
何そんな静かな。日本に来る外国人 90% がオタク。どうも藤です。YouTuber こういう挨拶するの。あるあるなんかあるあるじゃないのかよくわかんない話をして、どうもなんとかですって。
We're from Kaiga, so we don't do that.
ということで僕のこの感覚、これもう日本に来る外国人 90% がオタクです。
称号は？
証拠は、今日ここにあります。オタク違う人。今日はね、そんなオタクな僕たちにぴったりなテーマということで、今日のテーマは海外で人気なアニメトップ5とその理由について。
Yay! Alright, well, top 5, not from a perspective that is subjective to just us 5. But in Kaigai, there is this website called My Anime List. And it has a rating scale of anime from 1 Hoshi all the way to 10 Hoshis.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are there any animes with the 10 Hoshis?
There are not. There is one that reached 9.52.
それが今日の1位ってこと？
Yes.
なるほど。僕も知らなかったんだけど、アメリカのアニメのランキング付けのサイトがあって、今日はトップ5で、そのトップ5っていうのがなんかいろいろあるんだったっけ？その今週トップ5なのか。
It's not Konshu, it's not Kyonen, it's not from 5 years ago. It's when you click the tab of all time.
全部のアニメの中で海外の好きなトップ5っていうのが、ランキングで示されているので、今日はそのトップ5から順番に発表していって、なんでそのアニメが人気なのかっていうのも、海外視点でね教えてもらおうと思います。
Cool. I'll show you.
僕はもうね知ってるんだけど、結構意外な結果だった。
Really?
日本のトップ5とちょっと違うかもしれない。ということで行ってみましょう。第5位は進撃の巨人。
Nice.
Nice. You know, I'm surprised that this is number 5 on the list.
And not higher?
And not higher, yeah. I would assume that it would at least be like 3 or 2. Right?
Right.
It did have a big impact.
じゃあね、今日はなんでそのアニメが海外で超有名なのかっていうのを一言でね言えるようにみんなで考えてきたんで、それも話していきたいと思います。進撃の巨人ファンタジー×ゾンビ映画。
Whoa. Yes.
Oh, like try getting a non-anime fan into a gag anime, right? Like if there's somebody who watches reality TV or they watch like real crime or they watch Love is Blind on Netflix, like try getting them to watch Bobo 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 Bo or something like that, or Azumanga Daioh, or like try or even Haruhi for that matter, right? Like try to get them to watch like an anime within the anime community. That hurdle is like super takai, right? Trying to get them into something like that. But I would say Attack on Titan is more palatable to the common eye. No, because it's very similar to that of a zombie apocalypse. Like in Kaigai we have The Walking Dead, right? And these are brain-thirsty zombies trying to eat you alive and turn you into one of their kind, right? Now add 1,000 centimeters to each of the zombies that trample over you and have huge mouths and are able to eat you in one bite. They're not even trying to turn you into another Titan. They just eat you. That's super scary, isn't it? So In Attack on Titan, they don't have any of the corny anime beats. You know, like how they have like a tsukomi, and then like, let's say Anna says something stupid, and I say "Nande," and then you punch Anna, and then she flies off into the sun and the star. And here is like the kind of pain that I'm going through, and this is going to be the whole thing that drives the plot. My terror of loss and my terror of going through war and losing my friends. Like that's the whole theme. There's 4 seasons of just this gruesome anime throughout every single episode, right? And I think Americans, they like that grotesque factor. They like watching people like squirm and struggle through. And they like this squeamish kind of content. And I think that back there was like this different rating site where it was toe to toe with Game of Thrones back then, which was a very, very popular TV show during this time. And I was like, how is Attack on Titan touching Game of Thrones right now? Like, is it that groundbreaking? And once you get into the anime, you can understand, like, oh, okay.
確かにアメリカ人ゾンビ映画すごい好きよね。日本にゾンビ映画ってあんまないじゃん。貞子もゾンビではないでしょ。
It's more like ghosts.
そうそう。
That was Ghost.
だからゾンビってすごいアメリカのものだって僕らは思ってるから、アメリカのゾンビ映画100本あって日本多分1本くらいじゃない。
I think we just like get scared of humanoid creatures that look like us, but then they are completely different from us, and that's disturbing, right? And they want to eat us.
Yeah. And I think the other thing is like the threat of like becoming one of them.
Yes.
Like communists.
Correct.
I truly think that there is like a political thing behind this.
You know, I don't think that you're wrong.
It's the first shonen and mainstream anime that has a very serious雰囲気to it. It's mostly serious. There's not much comedic relief inside of it.
I think it's also a very good anime with a hook at episode 1. You know how like a lot of people they tell you to watch an anime and then just wait, it gets better. It gets better. No, you have to wait till like episode 8 or 9. Just give it a chance, and you've already invested like 3 hours of your time. I'm like, is the good part gonna come? And then Attack on Titan gives it to you episode 1.
Yeah,
you know?
It's like One Piece. Like, you have to wait till episode 500 until it gets good. It's like, I'm not waiting for 500 episodes until it gets good.
It does get good, but yeah.
Yeah.
Attack on Titan is right away. Boom, dopamine hitting my brain from the amount of squeamish I get from episode 1.
There you go.
If you haven't watched it, please have to watch episode 1.
Doesn't waste your time, I guess.
No, doesn't waste your time. Boom! Terror!
Nice.
確かにこれちゃんと少年漫画だよね。エレンっていう主人公どんどん強くなっていくよね。少年アニメの特徴って主人公が努力してどんどん強くなっていくっていうところにあるんじゃないかって前みんなで話したと思うけど、まさにアタックオンタイタンはエレン頑張ってどんどん強くなっていって、でもファンタジーの感じとあとちょっとこうディストピアというか絶望ホラーの感じがあるよね。
It's like a huge story of revenge, right? And then instead of feeling inspired by Eren, you kind of feel like I don't think he should go in this direction like the whole time, right? With people like Naruto or Bleach, like, oh yeah, I fight for my friends, or even Goku, like I fight for my friends, and then Eren, he's like, I fight for vengeance. I fight to avenge my family who has fallen to the lives of Titans, and I wish to do the same as others have done to me. Right? That is his reason for Gambateruing, right? And it feels super uneasy throughout the whole series, which I like.
ちょっと大人向けの方が海外は好かれるような気もするよね。なんかテーマがね。かつ海外の人が好きなちょっとダークなホラーっていうのも入ってるっていうのが人気の理由ということで。
Yes.
第5位は進撃の巨人でした。第4位、銀玉。銀玉がね、海外で人気な理由、日本のお笑いの全てがそこにある。ポールがすごいファンよね。
銀玉ってそうですね、なんで海外で有名なのは、まずみんなコメディが好きでしょ。海外のコメディと違って日本のコメディでやってるから新鮮感もあるから、こんな新しいコメディで見たら、面白いなって思ってるんじゃないかなと思う。
どんなところが海外のコメディと違うの？
ツッコミとかは
新八のね、
そうね、
おいーでしょ。
そう
もう子供の頃ずっと練習してたから1話だけ見るっておすすめするんだったらネオ・アームストロング・サイクロン・ジェット・アームストロング法の 回を見てほしいんだけど
Okay.
これに面白さとヤバさが全部詰まってるんだけど
Oh, that.
That's a dick. That's a ツッコミ。
雪祭りがあってみんなで何かオブジェを作ろうってなったの、でその時にこのネオムアーストロングサイクロンジェットアームストロング砲を作って江戸城の天守閣を吹き飛ばし江戸を開国させちまった犬イ族の決戦兵器だって言って冗談よ江戸時代にあっためちゃくちゃ強い兵器なんだって何こんなかっこ悪い大砲にやられたんですか僕らの国はって言っておいと一緒にあるってこれ新発のツッコミがものすごくいい
そうそうめっちゃ面白いですね。まあいいことか悪いことかわからないですけど下ネタはたまにあっても面白いなって。
ネオアームストロングサイクロンジェットアームストロング砲についてね興味ある方はネットで調べてくださいこれ下ネタってあんまりないの海外のアニメ
キッズ向けのやつは絶対ないんですよ。
あそうなんだ
That's right.
もう銀玉キッズ向けだからね
まあねある意味そうです。
Like
いや
imagine,
ある意味じゃないよマジでこれ子供向けだよ
imagine calling a show like Balls.
Right.
I
You
know,
know,
yeah.
like-
That's
やばいや
Yes,
ばい。
it's like you know how Korean Shin-chan is on an adult, like it's on Adult Swim, which is designed for like teenagers and up. It's because he whips out his dingling,
his elephant.
his elephant, right,
It shows his butt.
and shows his butt,
And
and
hits
that's
on women constantly.
correct. That's adult. Yeah, that's adult.
そう判断されちゃうんだ
Yeah.
へー
And then yeah, parents would not be happy to have that horrific image shown to their
い
children.
や厳しいね
銀玉がたまにいいのところのは下ネタ言っても真面目で言ってますよ。
どういうこと
めっちゃいやらしい感じじゃなくて、なんか本気でそう思ってる彼ら。例えば方の話でね、本気でそう思ってるからそう言ってる感じですよ。
Yeah, if they're saying it as if they're who's like it or whatever, then it'd be kind of lose its
Yeah.
punch, right?
そういう人がいるから下ネタじゃねえかっていうツッコミがねいいんだよね確かに海外でないのかこの下ネタ系の
カーチューンは絶対ないんです。
そうね、それをみんな海外にないから見に来る
One thing also interesting about the Gintama is they have the famous Marvel character Deadpool always do this the fourth wall. He breaks the fourth wall.
What do you think?
ああ第4の壁って言われてる、
そう第4の壁。
デッドプールとかが読者に対して急に話しかけるみたいな
そう自分がまあアニメっていう番組の中にいるのが知ってるっていう感じ。
ああそうよね、その第4の壁って言われてるのを超えてくるから銀魂もそういうのやってるよね
よくあってますね。
絶対に進撃の巨人じゃないもんね
絶対ない。
時々ある真面目な回がそれはそれでちょっと涙ほろり
そうです。
あるのよだからお笑いだけじゃないっていうのがいい、
たまにthe action scenes are also pretty good in Gintama.
It's an amazing anime to watch as an otaku who watches other animes as well, because like there's an Easter egg. There's an Easter egg in every episode.
So is the anime for anime fans?
Kind of.
Kind of, yeah.
第4位は銀魂でした第3位はシュタインズゲートシュタインズゲートが人気な理由は、タイムトラベル×サスペンス
そうです。
Steins Gate. I heard this was a very slow starting anime as well.
It is.
What is
シュタゲは結構
下着。
シュタゲ？
シュタゲってシュタゲって訳す
Whoa! I never
シュタゲは結構なんかもうオタクしたアニメかもしれないね
I think it's kind of niche though. I mean, I'm kind of surprised it's being so high.
そうそうだから僕もびっくりしていや好きだけど3位と思って
Sorry.
This is actually pretty niche in anime, in my opinion.
It's probably because the people who like it really like it. Because if you're an anime fan, you can kind of relate to the characters in Steins Gate to some degree. Because everyone is a nerd just like you.
Oh,
Just like
You
So, Steins Gate is basically a science fiction anime. It's not exactly time travel, they call it time leap though. It's by sending your memories back to the past you so that you can make a different decisions and you cause another branch thing, the science thingy.
So they don't take a DeLorean to go 88 miles an hour?
No,
that's
they don't have to. It's actually a pretty interesting idea. Talks about in the anime, but then making a time travel story is actually pretty difficult without plot holes.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Most of the time, when people watch about time travel related movies or drama series and things, people will start criticizing what happened if you do this, what happened if you do that, because there's a lot of plot holes.
Yeah.
But good parts about Steins Gate is that there isn't much such plot holes. People can actually like relate like back and forth.
Yeah.
And
The
stuff.
thing that always annoys me about time traveling like stories or whatever is like, say you have the present, right? And then this person goes back in time and changes something, right? At what point does the present change? When you go back in time, this present continues to move on as normal, right?
Yes.
Only to you it seems like it's frozen, but to everyone else it keeps going, right? And so you change something back here to change the events of this time, right? But like at what point does it just automatically change? Do you know what I mean?
それはね、シュタインズゲート見てもらえばわかります。
Okay.
海外のアニメでタイムリープ系の話はない。
有名なやつはあんまり聞いたことないですね。
タイムリープ系の話は海外の映画とかは日本よりいっぱいあると思う。
はい。
Yeah.
でもアニメになったら日本結構その話多くて、例えば時をかける少女、
消えた街なんちゃ
僕だけがいない街、
そうそれめっちゃ良かったな。
ねえ、まああとは鈴宮春日の憂鬱、
My favorite.
エンドレスイートね。結構さ、タイムリープものって難しいじゃん、理解するのが。
難しいですね。
そう。ちなみに鈴宮春日の憂鬱は一日が巻き戻ってるっていうのを表現するためにエンドレスイートって言って、毎週ちょっとだけアニメが変わって全く同じ話を8回繰り返したの。エンドレスイート。
Yeah, imagine watching the same anime episode but just slightly different for 8 weeks in a row. That's what the anime has inside of the series, and it's called The Endless Eight. And I got so tired of it that there's this video on YouTube that plays all 8 anime episodes at the same time. At the same time on 8 different screens.
Yeah.
And if you watch it like frame to frame, it's like the same story. The same freaking story, and I was able to get all of the information at the same time. Watching
頭おかしくなりそう。想像してみてほしいんだけどさ、毎週毎週さ、楽しみにすんのよ、あの頃は。で、夜、アニメ今日も見れるのはどんな話なんだろうなっつって、あれ先週見たぞってなって、それが8回あった日にも、なんとかしてくれって思って。
Did that really get broadcasted to all of Japan?
そう。で、なんとかしてくれと思って、その9回目に、抜け出した。
How did that get approved?
やばいでしょ。
How did that get approved to do the same? Imagine doing the same episode 8 times for 8 weeks straight.
ということで、第3位はシュタインズゲートでした。
Yay! I thought we were talking about Haruhi for a second.
下着。
Shitage.
次、第2位は、鋼の錬金術師。
Nice.
Yes.
FMA Brotherhood.
FMA.
FMA
あれでし
Brotherhood.
ょ
Yes, exactly.
何それ。
まあ海外で人気な理由は少年漫画×大人のテーマ。
Oh man,
Yeah.
so many adult themes here. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like politics, there's action, there's family issues, there's
Betrayal.
comedy, betrayal. It's a lot of different themes into one anime. This is the anime that, other than Attack on Titan, if my friends say, hey, I've been getting really into anime lately, what do you recommend? And I say, FMA Brotherhood. Have you watched FMA Brotherhood? If you haven't, you need to start there before you continue your anime journey. It is like a rite of passage for almost all anime fans to get into other animes, because you have to know the best. You have to know the best in order to know all of the other branches of anime that there are. Like in terms of pacing, in terms of like a story, in terms of characters with deeply rooted flaws and deeply rooted problems that they had from like a long time ago. Like this is the anime that you can really, really get into. Man, I'm trying not to netabare right now. It's really
そう
hard.
これは僕のトップ3にも入ってる。
入ってる
入ってる。
いや
入ってる入ってる。
これは本当にバイロンがいろいろ言ってくれたけど、まずさ、考え方がかっこよくない？この等価交換。
そう。
ね、これなんかもう子供なら絶対だよ。ドラゴンボールのカメハメハと全く一緒じゃない？これ。
あ
絶対やったでしょ。象徴的な、みんな絶対やったと思う。子供の頃ね。やったし、 あ、やめてやめてキメラになっちゃうからごめん、わからないごめんね。
No idea what's going on.
あそこ
気持ち悪
いやでもそうでも本当にそうで、さっきのシーンとかも、まあ、みんなね見たことあるならわかると思うんだけど、こういうかっこよさとかもあるポップな感じなんだけど、重たい話の時はね、そう
Is that 子供向け anime
いや
in your
子供
感
向けよ。だってそれだって
Really?
夕方のその6時とかのアニメでやってるんだもん。本当に
セリフもかっこよかったもん。雨の話、雨というかなんか今日雨
めちゃくちゃ頼りになる。でも結構顔が怖い。感情をあんまり表に出さないロイ・マスタングっていうね、炎の錬金術師がいるんだけど、そのね、部下のヒューズさん、ごめんなさい、ネタバレになるんで、見てない方がいたら、見てから来てください。
Please, yeah,
で
please.
まあそのヒューズさん、誰もこの方が亡くなると思ってないんだけど、
そう
まあいろいろあってちょっと亡くなっちゃう。敵にやられて、ロイ・マスタングはお墓にね、葬式の後に部下の人に向かって、いかん、雨が降ってきたなってこういうわけで、部下の人が雨なんて降ってなくないですか、
めっちゃ
いや雨だよつって、
そうかっこ
これはも
そう
何回これで泣いたことか。
そうですね、本当ですよ。
ただのアニメ好きな話になってるけど、まあ、そういうそのヒューマンドラマとかもちゃんと入ってるし、錬金術の実験にするために自分の娘と犬を合成させてキメラにしちゃう。
The story is like he wanted to bring back his mom from the dead,
Yeah.
right? And so he'd heard about this guy who could make chimeras, right? And then he's like, he was able to successfully make a chimera like 7 years ago, but his wife also died 7 years ago from an unknown cause, right? And then he's like, do you think you can make me a chimera? So he takes his one daughter and the dog, and then makes it into that. He's like, oh, I successfully did it. I made a chimera. But he used his daughter and his dog. And then it has a speech where, like, what's it called? When she was still like a little girl, she would play the main character, like, hey brother, asobo, right? And then now he's like, oh, you made a chimera. And then she goes up to Edward and she's like, asobo. He's like, what the fuck did you do?
これ見た時にめっちゃグスパンめっちゃ出る。
Okay, I just want to say one more thing about the anime, because I think that FMA found a way to make alchemy look cool. Because if you look at a regular anime inside of America, our idea of alchemy is with that of a mad scientist, right? With like a beaker and like jikens, and I'm going to take over the world! And that's alchemy from the Western perspective. But, you know, FMA made it where it looks really cool.
魔法陣もちゃんと書くしね。
Yeah, they make like a circle, an alchemy circle, right? And then I think Roy Mustang, if like there's like water,
USB グラス
he snaps his fingers and then he makes anything like combust, right? And there's this scene where like there's this monster and then he takes the water from like the tear ducts and he sets them on fire like every single time.
Yeah.
It's incredible. To avenge his dead friend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It makes me want to watch it again.
Yeah, yeah.
第2位は鋼の錬金術師でした。では堂々の第1位は早々のフリーレン。早々のフリーレンが海外で人気な理由は、中世のヨーロッパを日本人目線で描いている。
Yes.
I did not expect this to be such a favorite of mine. Oh my goodness. This is like, I mean, all subjectivity to the side, the pacing on this anime is absolutely incredible. Like it's something that doesn't seem very, very powerful right in the beginning, like Attack on Titan, right? Like there's so many things that happen in episode 1. Of course you're going to get into it, but Frieren, it's like a very, very slow start, but it keeps that mystery going and going and going. They don't reveal too much about the main character, and they reveal it's like, of course Frieren is a very powerful mage, you know, and she's destroyed like many different like demons, and well they say that she's like this very, very powerful being, but you only find out how powerful she is as the anime keeps on going on. It's like, oh, how powerful is it? Oh, you're just saying words. And then she really walks the walk as you watch and progress further into the anime. Right?
You get to know the world through the characters, through and through. It's like,
correct.
if you don't know what happened to this character, you don't know what happened to the world either, kind of thing. Which is really enticing. It's kind of playing like a role-play game. Like a video game. What it feels like when you're watching it.
もうプロットが素晴らしくて、その勇者のチームがある。でその中にエルフのメンバーもいるんだけど、エルフって長生きじゃん、すごい。でもうこの1話目で勇者のチームは魔王を倒す。で倒し終わりました。でその後エルフはすごい長生きするから、なんかエルフの感覚からしたら全然時間経ってないけど、まあ、勇者とか人間だからね、100年とか経ったらもう勇者はもう死んじゃうわけだけど、そこから話がスタートする。こんなプロット今までなかったよね。本当に。でフリーレンっていうエルフは自分が勇者と旅をした時のことを思い出して、それをずっと大切にして成長してるっていうのをその後の旅で見せてくれるっていうのを、みんななんかちょっと感動しながら見れるっていう最高のアニメになっております。
I think it's very interesting to see the anime from kind of a Kaigai's perspective, say especially if you're from Europe. It feels close to you because you are kind of used to the Chusei Europa imagery. But also you get to kind of see your own culture through different eyes. Because the way Japan portrays it, it's different in a very nice way.
なるほどね。
Also the music, it's... that kind of Chusei Europa music, the type of music where while you're having an utage, you're gonna go and dance in a circle or dance with just your partner on a fast beat. There's a quartet in the back that plays the violins.
Like a fiddler?
Fiddler?
Is it? That's the type of music that you'd hear when you go into like a very like... It's
like a tavern.
Yeah, it's like raining outside and you have a cloak on and you get to the end and then he goes like, "What are you doing, traveler?" Right? and then you go in there and you get a canister of beer and you see and you cheers and you have some guy shout at you thinking, this is basically the scene from Lord of the Rings.
ラストサムライみたいなもんか。
まあね、逆に言うと。
そうもしかしたらそのヨーロッパ人からしたらちょっとこれ違うんじゃないって思うところもあるかもしれないけど、まあそれよりもなんかその日本人目線で書かれてるっていうのが新鮮だったりするよね。
そう違うところも逆になるほど、そういう見方もあったんだ、面白いってなるかも。
Like if you think about it from a Western perspective, we have Lord of the Rings, right? And that started as an animation, okay? All right, it was animation first before it became a live action, right? Right. And so we have cool elves like Legolas, right? And then handsome as hell, Orlando Bloom, fucking crazy, fucking beautiful man. And then isn't Arwen an elf?
Yeah.
Arwen. Okay, so Aragorn and Arwen, right? They have like that dynamic, right? Like a human can't be with an elf kind of thing, and they touch up on it, and that's like a side story in Lord of the Rings. Frieren is an anime where it focuses on the despair of an elf because she can't live as long as her human friends, and she ends up outliving everybody. And you can see like the despair, and like that's what makes the plot go. And her taking care of like the disciples of her old friends is kind of like, oh, so she has a responsibility to bring up the next generation of heroes, right? And you want to root for her the whole time, right? And on top of that, inside of the anime, and I don't know if everybody else is aware of this, but there's this specific dance scene where there's two characters and they both have to learn royalties and trying to behave like a prince and a princess, right? And there's a scene where they both dance together. And from that scene, you can see how fluid the animation was. And the more research I did, they actually got a dance team in Tokyo to do there was this dance team that modeled ballroom dancing for animators to follow and pretty much replace the characters with this professional team of dancers, right? And then so they were able to get like the flow of like the dress, the flow of like the hair, because they had actual models to do that dancing, right? And then on top of that, even the instruments, you can only see the musicians for a split second, right? And the orchestra made music for that specific scene. They were also filmed. The animators had a reference to actually animate the notes that the orchestra was playing, right? So there's these very tiny details that the anime goes into that a lot of people, it goes over their heads. But when you see that scene, you can understand how real that scene is because we have real life examples. It's like taking like a motion capture artist and taking that and putting it into the anime.
早々のフリーレンってさ、力抜いてる絵と本気の絵の差がすごくない？わかる？言いたいこと。普通にさ、旅してるとこってそんなに手込んでないじゃん。多分。急にそのダンスのシーンとかバトルのシーンはめちゃくちゃドキドキしない？なんかそれがすごいいいなって思う。第1位は早々のフリーレンでした。今日時点ではね、1位は早々のフリーレンということでした。はい、ということで今日は海外で人気の日本のアニメトップ5とその理由について話してみました。どうだった？
どうだった？
It's crazy. I think that FMA was number one.
FMA フルメタルアルケミスト鋼の錬金術師のことの省略。
Yes.
はい、どうぞ。
Sorry. FMA Brotherhood, okay, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, was number one for a really long time. As long as I can remember, they were on top. And then suddenly, Sozo no Frieren just like took it, like just 超えた. I was like,
Wow.
I understand.
まあそうね、どっちも好きかな。
Yeah.
他にね、皆さんが好きなアニメがあればコメント欄まで書いてください。みんなで見てみます。まあ知ってるから大体。
I mean,
オタクなんでね。
just for those fans out there, this is completely subjective to a Western perspective. So this is not our personal top 5 list, and just wanted to set the story straight, right? If you want to look at the actual ranking, you can go on myanimelist.com. You can find that on Google. So don't hunt us in the comments for taking a big dookie on your favorite anime. And as an anime fan to anime fan, I understand when someone else takes the big dookie on your favorite anime.
他に僕らに話してほしいトピックがあればコメント欄までそちらもよろしくお願いします。それでは次の動画でまたお会いしましょう。バイバイ。チャンネル登録お願い。
ま